Here with Warriors assistant coach Jerry Stackhouse, and it's John Dickinson. And Jerry, just new look for you coming over to the Warriors after spending 5 years in the college game. I just ask you right off the top, and first of all, thanks for coming on. But what made the Warriors a good fit for you?
Well, I think it's a great fit for me just to be able to, as a coach, to be able to, coach on the staff with one of the, a legend pretty much. I mean, I've got it's been the captain of a dynasty and being able to, coach, Steph Curry, Draymond Green, a lot of the young talent that we have here now, and being able to help develop those guys and see them, hopefully take another step and go to another level. It was a great opportunity for me. I was glad that I was a part of, one of the guys that they were looking at for this opportunity. And, I was just going to take the year off, after kind of being in the grind for 5 years. But this was too good of an opportunity to let slide by.
18-year NBA career, you're one of those guys that's kind of seen it all. You've been a coach. It's part mentor, part, looking at some of the young players, it's part defensive coach as well when you look at, some of the things that you've been attributed to. I think of Jerry Stackhouse, though. I think of a guy that got to the bucket and scored and got to the free throw line and was dunking on people. Where did you kind of become the defensive guy?
Well, I think I knew what I didn't want to see as an offensive player, right? So I think I kind of built my defense off of that. The things that, shutting down passing lanes, being able to, be physical and have bodies on you all the time, not allowing, me to get to the middle of the floor. The teams that or defenses that had those characteristics were tougher for me as an offensive player. So I think, knowing that's kind of built the basis of my defense, and I had success with it, and then just, continued to just grow it from there.
Defense has been a point of emphasis for the Warriors coming off of last season and heading toward this season. Transition defense, point of attack defense specifically are two things that Coach Kerr has mentioned that at times have gotten away from this team. What's the key to having great point of attack and transition defense, and how do the two kind of work hand in hand?
Well, for me, I just think it's getting the backcourt covered. I think it's finding a happy balance. We're a really good offensive rebounding team, so you want to continue to do that, to go to the boards, but finding a way to find that happy medium of still, getting second chance opportunities, but making sure the backcourt is covered. And I think we can devise a plan to do both. But a lot of it just comes down to, honestly, effort, right? Just I think the sprinting back, definitely getting on the boards, but being able to sprint back and then having a plan, not just sprinting back and not having a plan. So I think that's going to be huge for us.
The other thing I think about when I think of Jerry Stackhouse, the player, is intensity, and not afraid to mix it up, not afraid to be physical, not afraid to really make his presence felt on the court. Is that something you see yourself bringing as a dynamic as a coach to this team? And do you maybe look at this team that could use that? They've done it all, seen it all, but could use a little bit of that edge as they kind of balance the guys that have won titles with some of the younger players?
Yeah, definitely. I think when you look at somebody like, Draymond is the perfect example. I think he leaves it all out there. He's a guy that, maybe you look at him, may not say he's the most talented guy, but he plays extremely hard and he's extremely smart. And I think you just want to get other guys up to that level. And for me, I can still get out on the floor and show an example of it. I'm not going to do it for 20 minutes or for a game, but for, demonstrating what it's supposed to look like, I can still do that. So I'm thankful that God's blessed me with the body of about be 50 in a month, but I can still get out there and I can show these guys, what I'm trying to teach them to do. And I think that's very important, not only for them for you to tell them, but when you can be able to show them too, it brings a different aspect of what you're saying.
What's impressed you about Brandin Podziemski specifically in the time that you've been able to kind of work with him and observing his game and just the things that he brings to the table?
Yeah, he has a nose for the ball. I think that's it. He has the ability to make plays. He's not afraid. I think his confidence is what stands out, more so than anything. I think he, no matter who he's playing against, he feels like he's, he can compete to win. And obviously from last year, him being able to be one of the charge leaders lets you know that he doesn't mind giving up his body, for the team, and as a, being really part of the defensive side of the ball for us. It's great to have guys like that because we want that physicality. We want maybe get called for quite a few fouls early on, but that's a part of establishing that identity that we want to become a physical team. A lot of teams say this at this time of the year that they want to be physical, they want to run more, and they do it for a week or two. But I think we have the personnel that if we continue to hammer and hold guys accountable, that we could be able to sustain that longer.
I want to come back to the young guys quickly, but I also want to ask about, you say personnel. I think of DeAnthony Melton as somebody that defensively, when he's been healthy in his career, he's kind of a terror. Like, he likes getting into guys defensively. How much can he be somebody that is leaned on as far as being one of those tone setters?
I think when you speak of what we're talking about, trying to really get better in the transition defense, he could be huge at that. He's a guy that can really, bother the ball coming up the floor, really getting into whoever's bringing it. He could be a guy that really, attacks that ball. He's versatile, even though he's, 6'3", 6'4". He can guard bigger players. I just think there's a lot of, favorable matchups that could look a little bit similar to like the championship team. That team was good because they were long and they could switch and do a lot of different things. Not as much length on this current team, but just the tenacity and the savvy of like a Kyle, Kyle Anderson, all these guys that can do. I mean, Wiggs, right? Wiggs was a hell of a defender, 2 years ago. He can do those things. Just trying to, I think J.K. and Moses Moody, all these guys have the ability to defend, and it's just a matter of them, understanding a little bit more technique and coming with a little bit more, just playing with a little bit more force, and you can see a big difference really quickly.
How ready do you think Jonathan Kuminga is to explode? He exploded last year from a level from where he had been, but the two-way game and the ability to slash, but also, like you said, defend and rebound and all those things. I mean, he's got the body type to be able to do it all. Do you feel like he's primed for a big year? Yeah,
I think he's put in a lot of work, in this off season, just to continue to try to take that next step. I mean, he has a lot of millions and millions of reasons to take another step, So I think that, and he wants to do it not only for himself and his family, but for the team. And I just think it's about us helping him get there. But he definitely has all of the tools and the attributes to definitely take that step. And with him taking that step, the team is going to take a step along with him.
You were a quality sixth man for a decent chunk of your career. This team's got a lot of depth. There are going to be, I think, inevitably at least one guy that probably comes into camp thinking they're going to be a starter that's not going to be a starter. Maybe a couple that think they have a shot to be a starter that won't be a starter. What would you say to whoever that player or those players are about the ability to contribute in a big-time way, even if you're not one of the starting five?
Yeah, I mean, I like to always thought, for me, Nelly was great when I first went to Dallas, and that was the first time I started to come off the bench. And he was just like, Stack, I got 6 starters, so sometimes you got to play a Jedi mind trick with them, just to make sure that they know that they're included. But it's really not about starting. It's about who finishing the game. So, these guys are going to get an opportunity, whether you're starting or whether you're coming off the bench. You want to, find a way within your minutes to hope the coach can trust you in the late part of the game. That's all you want to do. You're going to play the guys that are playing well to finish the game. So, starting is cool, which, obviously I enjoyed it early in my career, but, coming off the bench, having an opportunity to kind of see and feel the game before you're thrust into it, it has its advantages too. And hopefully we can be able to convey that to the guys that aren't a part of the starting unit, but knowing that you still have an opportunity to make an imprint and bring real value to the team.
Final question for you. Where do you see this thing going for you individually? I mean, you coached in a college game, you coached in the G League and won a title. And do you want to be an NBA head coach?
Yeah, absolutely. I think that's the goal for me. I've been a head coach before. This is a great opportunity. There's not a lot of honestly, a lot of NBA teams that I would even accepted an assistant coaching job with. But I think because I would, felt like I probably could have, waited a year and get right back in the college game. I'm not, against possibly going back to college as well. But I just feel like, I was a pro for a long time. Even in college, I ran pro sets. I felt like everything we did was catered to pros. So I really think that this is a fit for me. And again, being able to, obviously learn and see, how Steve goes about his business and how he, not only it's not just about the basketball, but it's about, other aspects of, kind of having good partners across the organization and seeing that up close and personal. I'm excited for that opportunity.
You mentioned Steph off the top. Just one more quick one. How much was Steph a part of your desire to come here, Steph and Draymond specifically, to kind of just coach guys that have done what they've done?
Definitely. I mean, I watched these guys as young players. I mean, when I was still in the league when they first came in. So, they were.
Are you a little surprised at because I know you had a couple years that overlap, but are you surprised at what they ended up doing from seeing them those first couple years?
Yeah, I mean, I've been surprised at just how the game has changed. I mean, you never thought that, the three-pointer would be so much a part of the game as it is now. And I think, Steph is probably the main one to credit to that. I mean, just the analytics that have come out of it, how, getting more bang for your buck from the three and getting to the basket as opposed to playing in the mid-range. All those things have kind of changed. I mean, my game was the mid-range. So I think it's, just seeing the game evolve and change. Whether, some people want to argue whether it's better or worse. No, I just think it's different and it's still the greatest game to play.
Jerry Stackhouse, appreciate it. Best of luck.
Thank you.
Thanks a lot.